So here the budget's broken down based on New York State categories. Some of the increases are self-explanatory. Here you can see personnel is up by $301,000 for 2026. That equates to about 46%. So that's the biggest increase that we have is in fire medic staffing. So looking at the different numbers right there, you can see where they're all at. Built in 3 firefighters per shift starting in January, so if we can fill that, you can see where it's gone from 455, 600 to $700,800. We've also taken on a part-time deputy chief and a part-time community risk reduction specialist. So why the increase in fire medic staffing? So one of the things that we've done is we're I want to say leading in the forefront of this is we have 24/7 staffing, although sometimes it is down. You're looking at the types of calls that we have. 80 to 85% of our calls are all medical calls. We also have a reduced number of volunteer EMTs, so we're down currently to 8 volunteer EMTs from over 12. It was 12, but it was actually over 12 before. So what the career firefighters, EMTs do is they supplement the volunteers. And what this does for the community is it has decreased the response times significantly, especially on EMS calls. Previously, we were looking at 9 to 10 minutes on average on the scene, and now we've reduced that to, last time check was at least 2 to 3 minutes less. So that's a positive thing right there. Lots of updates, working to move into cycles for purchases. We're looking at a $60,000 increase overall in structural turnout gear. That's dropped. Non-structural gear was increased. Radios are at deemed end of life cycle. We'll need to investigate new options for 5 new tests done and get them into place to see how they're going to work out. SCBA equipment replacement project is underway. All equipment is at end of life and needs to be replaced. General equipment, various equipment including thermal images are near end of life. And then one of the things is cost sharing with the calibration of some of our equipment was shared with Northwest. So we're looking to purchase that, again, just to save money by working together. Other equipment, saws are a problem. Looking to convert over to battery-powered saws where they're more reliable without carrying fuels on the apparatus unnecessary. Payroll services, if you look, that's dropped dramatically. We changed from paychecks to Firehouse. The monthly fees dropped from about $3,000 a month to $180 per month. So that's a big savings right there. The IT management service software, that's gone up. Again, due to licensing fees, replacing firewall, etc. Fuel and lights, gone up due to increased personnel here at the station. So we're looking at several different things that basically have gone up. Apparatus and maintenance repair, on the other hand, has gone down. We're looking at newer apparatus, and again, they're still under warranty as far as that. So it's a cost savings right there. The other thing is the career staff. We're looking at a supplemental insurance, offering an AFLAC type supplemental insurance. That's for the career staff just in the event of an accident. So this would be a second, this is their second job. So in the event of something happening to them, the insurance cover presently they wouldn't be covered. So this is going to bring them up so that they're equal to the career staff if they're in an accident or have an accident, that they would be the same level as the volunteers for disability. Total appropriations, estimated revenues, and again, there's the $2,461,667 proposed budget. This proposed budget does not fall within the 2% tax cap, so we will consider a resolution to exceed the tax cap. Balance of the unexpended funds are used to pay the current bills during January and February. So when we're waiting for the tax money to come in, we do have that in our budget so that we can pay our bills. Current balance is $106,000. So here's what it boils down to is, if you have a house that's assessed at $100,000, your tax is going to be $187. $150,000, it's going to be $281.50. $300,000, you're looking at $561. So over on the right, there are just a few of the, used to be amenities, but they're everyday things now in life, is the cell phone. What does your cell phone cost? What does your cable cost? So again, for a $300,000 house, $561 is very reasonable for what we receive. So one of the things that we did back in September of 2023 is we started our participation in New Year class. And what this does right here is New Year class is for is a security system where we can invest money in there, and the amount of return on our investment is roughly 4.165%. So that's a high yield on our money. And what this does is, instead of increasing taxes, we're letting our money save increase our revenues without increasing the taxes. Initially, those are the numbers that we had invested in New Year class. And again, like I said, the average yield is 4.1654%. So that's a very good number, very, very good percentage. Good return on our investment. The reserve funds basically are planning for the future. So what happens is, in the fire service, everything is expensive. Everything is very expensive just because of what it is. And this is our way of having to put away money for when something happens. SCBA replacement, for example. We're in the process of going through that right now. Big number, all coming due, so everything has a life cycle on it, and like I said, these are at their life's end. We're in the process of going through to replace that. Capital improvements, again, you're looking at money in there that we need to figure out what we're doing for the future. We're planning for the future, and we're slowly increasing that so that we do have that money so that we can make the necessary advances and changes as required. And then the retirement fund. So our goal basically is to keep the tax rate relatively consistent, at the same time increasing part-time staff to 3 per shift. So, and I think we've achieved that by going through this. We've gone through and reduced and sharpened our pencils multiple times, and to provide the best service that we can without overtaxing our community. Here's a few examples of unfunded mandates, and what these are things that happen that we have to adhere to. There's always an expense to it, so we have to plan accordingly to put money away for this. So these are just some of the things that will be coming, potentially will be coming our way in the near future. So again, I'd like to thank the Board of Fire Commissioners, Commissioner Chura, Commissioner Harrison, Commissioner Malone, Commissioner Thompson, and Chief Gleason, Deputy Chief Vitoli, Treasurer Bill Dwyer, and Secretary Wayne Smith. Thank you, everyone. Okay, public comments period begins. I will now ask any person present who may wish to be heard on this proposed budget in favor of or against the proposed budget or any item in it to now comment. I request that if you wish to address the board on the proposed budget, you raise your hand to be recognized. Clearly state your name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Please direct all your questions to the board or the finance chairperson. This is not a question and answer session. Your question will not be answered when asked. The board is looking for your opinion on the budget or any part of it, whether favorable or not. Please tell us what you are in favor of regarding this budget or what you are against. You may ask questions, but this board and the finance chairperson will not answer any questions until the conclusion of the public comments period. Questions from the public? Yes.
Carol Curtis. I have a question about the Aflac insurance. Correct me if I'm wrong. When we went to hire part-time employees, it was under the understanding that's why they were being hired as part-time, because no insurance involved. And now you're getting Aflac. And it's under my assumption that they knew when they were hired as part-time there was no insurance. So why now?
Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions from anyone? Okay. Public comments period for this annual budget hearing is now concluded. The members of the Board of Fire Commissioners are now allowed to ask questions. Questions from the Fire Commissioners?
The only question that I have on our budget, which I didn't have time to review, is how we have a reserve funds higher than what we're actually asking for a budget. I was going to look into that myself. Like I said, I did not get time to look into it, but we're asking for an increase, and I would like to hold it at about a 2%, because to have more money in your reserves than what we're asking for the taxpayers, I just don't think that's legit and right for the taxpayers.
Any more questions from the commissioners?
Have you considered, with going back to that insurance, have you considered as a board to have the firefighters pay for it themselves? Because across the state, that's what they do. It's not the taxpayers. Have you considered that? Or would you consider that in the future? Second question would be, at the last meeting, because this topic there, that insurance is an intent, I asked for another intent to be put on there, but it comes with $0, so you don't have to do any crunching. But just so people aren't blindsided down the road of adding 4 full-time people to the department, firefighters that is. The money's there. The part of the meeting later on, the numbers that we're getting for responding is scary.
Let's keep it to questions as opposed to
So-
statements.
Can you add that to their $0 right now? Because if it comes to it, we'll find the money. So I'm asking you to put it on there. Let me see. Probably the same section, only under the insurance, since they're only intent. And that's all I have.
Any more questions? Okay. Shall we try to answer some of these questions? Sure. So the FLAC question, as I stated in the presentation, if these guys get hurt, or these people get hurt, they're not going to be able to collect money from their full-time job. This is a part-time job for them. So by coming in and offering them some sort of insurance, whether, to answer part of your question also, Commissioner Sure, is we can have supplemental. We can have it so that they pay part of it, or they pay all of it. So again, we can offer that. That is something that can be offered. It's just something that we need to be fair with our people. We're fair with our volunteers. We need to be fair with our paid employees. And that's all we're looking at. We have some of the best people in the county and outside the county here working for us. And we want to maintain that. We want them to take pride in coming here, and they do. The reserve, the money in the reserve is for the future, is for things that happen. We need to put money aside because, like I said, and you well know that there is nothing that says fire or EMS on it that's cheap. Everything that is labeled with that is probably 3 to 4 times more than what you can buy elsewhere. But because it's fire and EMS, it's very expensive. So we need to prepare for that. We need to set money aside. There's nothing wrong with having money set aside for the future. And that's where we've done. That's where we're in such a good position at this point. To get it down to 2% instead of the slightly above the 2% is like I said, the biggest part is employees. That's the biggest cost, is going to be the payroll. It's going to continue to be the payroll. So when it goes to, as Commissioner Chura said, 4 full-time, he did say full-time, that number's going to be really big, really big. What we're doing is we're making advances. We're working in the best interest of the community and with the best interest for the taxpayers. We're trying to do things so that we don't have those big jumps in the tax budget from year to year. We're just trying to maintain an even number all the way across. There's nothing out there in this world that goes down in cost. You look at the cost of everything out there when you go to the store, you go to the hardware store, you look at the receipt and it's like, my God, it's crazy. And we're just trying to bring that up gradually. We're working with what we have. We're just trying to be fair to everyone. Anything you'd like to add?
About the disability insurance, I think that when we presented paid staff and benefits, we're mostly talking about health insurance, about vacation time, sick time, personal time, those things, instead of the disability. I think that the benefits was the package that we would need to offer, and I think that's where we were saying that no insurance, or, I don't think no insurance is the correct term. It's the benefit packages that we are not providing. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Have any, another question on that. Have any of the legal counsel that you may have talked to, because you were asked to do that, I've also done it myself, have any of them mentioned to you that if you have concerns about a person that plans on getting hurt and is asking for this insurance, to probably not hire them? Because you are looking at people that are working other jobs and are going to walk in here with an injury. You need to look at that.
Well, I did inquire from Joe Frank, attorney for the State Fire District Association, and he indicated that it's entirely appropriate that we purchase disability insurance if we choose. He did suggest that we consult with our if we had a union and we had to have discussions with our union, that we would want to discuss it with them. We don't have a union, so I think that's a moot point at this time.
Okay.
Does anybody, this is pertaining to this, it's a question.
This is not a back and forth. You had the opportunity prior to ask questions, and I asked if there were any more questions. There weren't. This is not, we're not going to go back and forth. We're not going to sit here and go back and forth and back and forth. I'm sorry. You had an opportunity.
Okay.
Okay.
Control, look at it.
So the questions were asked. We attempted to answer them. At this point, the hearing is now closed. This public hearing regarding the 2026 proposed budget of the Belgium Cold Springs Fire District is declared closed. May I receive a motion from a member of the Board of Fire Commissioners to close the hearing? Mark? Second. Mike? All in favor? Aye. Hearing a motion to close the public hearing is made and seconded. It is now closed. We're adjourned. Got 20 minutes until the next meeting. All right. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. Do you have a motion for approval of the September 15th meeting? Mike? Second. Mark? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? So moved. Thank you. Treasurer's report, Bill?
Okay, we'll do codes first. That's the single sheet. And nothing other than interest has changed since last month. The checking account is the same. Savings is just adding in $14.16 interest. And also I added in the interest from New York class. So that number went up to $83,743. Other than that, there's no change. But I would like to talk about codes while we're doing that. I want the board to think about, remove the money, to codes or find something else, because if we add it, I don't have the exact dollar amount. The QuickBooks Online, there's a fee to create another company. Or under the desktop, I could create as many companies as I wanted. But under QuickBooks Online, that's creating a new company, and there's a fee, of course, with that. So I don't know what your pleasure will be, or if you want to say codes is going to pay for that. But right now, I'm not going to have Danielle, who's the QuickBooks lady, start to create the codes, because that'll start bumping up the money that we owe. And I'm getting nervous that we're going to go through that other 1,000 you already approved. I think every email, every phone call I make, it's money comes off that $1,000 you approved last time. So think about what we want to do with that codes thing.
What kind of money are we talking about for another company?
I don't have that exact figure. I'll find it out.
Well, I think it's $115 a month for ours.
Yeah,
So it would be at least that to move.
Right.
You're talking about moving codes to their
Yeah,
own separate QuickBooks.
Well, right now, to do it where it is, they're talking about doing it by class, and it's a mess. That's why this sheet is, I do the sheet. This is just a spreadsheet. It's not in there. But let me know. Okay. The district report, we got 40 district vouchers, 14 credit card vouchers, and 1 codes voucher. On the district report, the front page are the bank accounts. And to let you know, in the bank accounts now, the New York class, they made a change to, what's it called, a dual security,
Multi-factor authentication.
what was that?
Multi-factor authentication.
So I have to create another authorization there. So I was not able to get December 30th totals that you're used to seeing that report for New York class. So I'm working on that. But those figures are correct that are here for September 30th. Just to let you know that. Page 2, 3, and 4 are hopefully getting to look more normalized as our monthly report, listing what we've spent to date, the budget amount, and what we've got left, the percents. On page 5 and 6, I finally added found a way to do the comparison, just to see if you like that. 5, 6, and 7 is a comparison from last September to this September. Page 8 is the M&T Bank, which I can still get on. The account information there. Nine is the service awards. We made $18,176 last month. Page 10 is the principal and interest. We've all done with payments for this year. Page 11 are the referendum. And the last page are tonight's vouchers. I'm still tweaking this one to get the memo to come out to say what it is we bought. But it's on the voucher. And And on the page 12, again, the vouchers, where it says type in the bill, that's the normal bill that comes in. If it says expenditure, those are credit card payments. So any place that says expenditure, that's a credit card. Anything with the word bill in it is a regular voucher. Yep, and that's it. Danielle spent about 2 hours, 2.5 hours Friday at the office with me, getting things somewhat normal.
Any questions for Bill?
Who wins? And Mike Chura wins the bank statements.
If you want to just say that we can.
Our RFP there for the audit, that's due on the 22nd.
That's Wednesday.
That's Wednesday. But we've got like 3 or 4 of them in.
So we'll review those.
What's that?
We'll review
Oh,
those.
we'll review those and let you know.
Okay, we have a motion to approve treasurer's report as provided. Mark, second. Mike, Shura. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. And the RFP is next Wednesday, the 22nd. And then a motion to approve the vouchers that Commissioner True will be auditing. Do you have a motion on that?
I'll audit the vouchers.
Don? Don?
Everyone audits the vouchers.
Okay, perfect.
Is there a motion?
Mark? Second. Mike? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Okay. No permissive referendums that we're looking to close. Correspondence.
The Capital Area Fire Districts Association will be hosting a fall educational seminar Saturday, November 1st at the Verdoy Firehouse. It's $30, starts at 7 a.m. They'll be covering topics, legal and liability and the role of properly designed decon laundry, proper election, and ethics and the roles of the players, district, and the fire company. And then we received a letter from New York State Association of Fire Chiefs. They wanted to thank the Belgium Cold Springs Fire District for their donation of gear to the regional hands-on training. It will certainly be put to good use during flashover training so the students don't have to wear their own turnout coats and helmets, preventing it from being taken out of service because they should be washing it all after training. And they also had wording in here that at this time, all liability has been removed from the fire district when the gear is worn at the training and falls under the association's liability coverage. So it's now the responsibility of their instructors to inspect the gear and remove any that they see issues with. And they said, once again, thank you for the donation.
Very good. Chief's report, Chief Gleason?
For personnel, our final new hire will be completing their orientation on Wednesday. So that finishes up that last round of hiring, all on the line and all taking shifts except for that last hire. For purchase requests and notifications, there was nothing in your agendas. I do have two things. So the first one, we are working with the SU student from the community link program. I sent you all today the survey that he developed. Very pleasant young man, was a volunteer firefighter where he grew up in the Adirondacks prior to coming to school down here, so has a background in the fire service. Has put a lot of effort into building that out, and his correspondence has been very good with us. He did develop a postcard mailer, so our goal, and I don't have a quote yet, our goal is to hit as many of the residents in the fire district with a postcard mailer that basically says we are your agency that provides fire protection, provides a QR code that goes to the website, provides the website link, provides the phone number, and puts a QR code to the survey that you saw today. I would like to ask for up to or not to exceed $5,000 to do a postcard mailer to the residents of the district using the address list from the fire company that they have that they use for their fundraising letter. So I've talked with Upstate Printing, they're on county contract, they're basically ready to go. They helped us dictate the size to get that cost down. We just don't know what that final estimate is yet, but looking for $5,000 to get that mailer out to everybody as quick as we can arrange that with Upstate Printing.
And where would we like to take that money from?
There's more than enough in the chief's budget for the year. I don't have the exact 202, 203, 204, but there's more than enough money there to get that chief's budget.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so do we have a motion for up to $5,000 for the mailer? Mike, second. Mike, any further discussion?
I have a question. Charlie sent an email just suggesting the golf tournament spelling. I wondered if two things there. One might be, the golf tournament was canceled this year. First off, it's the Smiley Lesniak golf tournament, but it was canceled this year. Would we do better to put in there like the pancake breakfast instead of that?
Absolutely, that's easily modifiable. He was just taking stuff off of the website based on what we've done historically in some of our historic. So since that is not happening this year, we can easily remove that, talk about some other stuff in there. None of those questions are set in stone. Even once that QR code goes out, we'll still be able to edit those if we do find something. So, yep, we won't even worry about the spelling. We can take that out altogether. If there's a suggestion for something you want added to that, if you want the pancake breakfast, we can absolutely put that in.
That's all I had.
One other thing, Norm, if you could add to it, detection systems that we have in our homes. We do have some homes that are sprinklered. So,
What was that?
sprinklered systems in their homes.
Okay. Any more questions? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposition? Hearing none?
As far as donations, and this isn't really a chief's office thing, but during the last fire company meeting, I spoke with members of the executive board ahead of time and spoke about the alcohol that's in the firehouse. The fire company voted on it and voted to remove it and donate it to the members of the fire company. So that is in progress. There is still alcohol back there, so something for the fire company to take a look at, and then if nobody's going to take it, something for the district to look at. What we'll do is, once we get past some of the budget stuff and some of the other things we have going on, we'll review district policy to see where we need to speak to. If you bring it in, you carry it out, just so that we're not getting a stockpile or keeping any alcohol within the firehouse. So I appreciate the fire company grabbing that up and taking action on that and removing that. Just wanted to make sure you were all aware of that, and we'll start looking at policy to make sure that we don't get a stockpile again. For communications, we attended the Office of Emergency Management is hosting divisional meetings, so there's 10 divisions within the county set up. We attended the Division 1 meeting. It was a very good conversation with the folks from Emergency Management, the emergency manager, the fire coordinator, and the EMS coordinator. Very, very good communication, and similar to what we're working on with Town of Lysander Response Order Guide. It was nice to see that, for the most part, the chiefs are really kind of walking the same line, and emergency management was right in line with us. So that was a well-attended and good meeting. As far as projects, we did complete the apparatus day, so we have standardized our inventory across the fleet. We removed Rescue 2, we removed Ladder 1 from service, and swapped out old engine 21, put new engine 21 in service. So that's all been done. Extra tools and equipment have all been moved to headquarters and onto the pallets. So we'll be much closer to being able to deal with that equipment back there and really start making decisions about what we have and what we plan to do with it. SCBA plan of purchase, that's still progressing. We just received on Friday, I received word that they actually reduced the cost by another $5,000. So that has now been put forward for purchase. I don't think we're gonna get anything better than that, so we're gonna move on that. That brings the total purchase to $349,000 and change. We have out there the final draft of the Town of Lysander Fire Department Response Order Guide for review, so that's a project we've been working on for several months. Again, I haven't heard any feedback saying that anybody has any issue with what we're looking at there. I'll be reaching out to folks this month so that we can get those adopted and make that how we operate. And then we can also, we've actually already started training off of that as well. So that final draft is done. Repair on vehicles is ongoing. We had a couple of things pop up over the last few days. M1 just got an oil change today. We got Squad 1 and 11 have some work to be done. For policy, there was an oversight when we did the personnel levels and we removed some policies. Policy 01-002, I'd like to put that before you all to be removed, as it's addressed in the personnel levels policy. This 01-002 was basically the firefighter classifications. So it was your black helmet with a yellow tetrahedron, black helmet with a silver tetrahedron, black helmet with a black tetrahedron, and all the training requirements and the responsibilities within. That is all addressed in personnel levels. This was just a miss on my part to not have this into the list of policies that were already removed. So I'll ask that we remove policy 01-002.
That's an SOG. I believe it's an SOG, not a policy.
So I will ask that we remove SOG 01-002.
We can do that. Do we have a motion to remove SOG 01002? Ventura, Malone. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
That concludes my part of the report. For Chief Natoli, our New York State Agency EMS certification was approved, so we're all set there. He also was successful in getting 3 of our vehicles certified. So Squad 1, Squad 2, and Engine 11, our primary EMS response vehicles are all now New York State certified. So that was a fairly big lift. Appreciate his work on that. Training update. Chief Melchior continues to work towards scenario-based training and work towards training that falls in line with, he's actually started working off of that response order guide that we're working across the town with the town chiefs on, and making good progress on that. That's all I have for the chiefs before we go to Mr. Carroll.
Okay. CRR, Norm, what have you got for us?
We have received, I put out the QR code for smoke detectors. We received 2 requests. I will be reaching out to them to schedule the time to get those all taken care of. So it's out there and people are starting to respond. So we'll keep going and get that taken care of. We have a pub ed detail tomorrow at Reynolds Elementary, so that'll be nice. We've got about almost a dozen people going to be there, so it should be a good day. Hope the weather holds out. So that's all I have.
Okay, very good, thank you. Committee reports, long-term planning. Mike, Malone?
Plan on having a meeting later this month. I will let you know as to the date and time.
New truck and apparatus.
New truck, engine 21, the only thing we're waiting on now, it's in service. It's gone on a couple calls. We're still working with the vendor regarding the back seat SCBA switch out. That's the only thing really with the truck. Going well.
So I saw Steve Dombowski at Saratoga last week or the week before, and he said, I think that seat is in.
Yeah, I think they had to go out to Buffalo either last week or this week. They were gonna go out to Buffalo to pick it up and then bring it back here and install it. We made pre-arrangements for an easy switch out when we were out at the factory. So it should be just unbolt, rebolt back in and good to go.
Any movement on the rest of the apparatus?
So on the other apparatus, we have had on ladder 1, I've had a gentleman contact us regarding, he came out and did an interview, Randy Christensen from Alabama. He took a look at the truck, him and another gentleman overlooked it and all that, was very impressed with it. Came in with a low offer, which we rejected. We spoke again before he left and he was asking about possibly some surplus equipment that we could throw in with the sale of it to help sell it at the price we're asking. I sent everybody this morning a general list of equipment that he's asking for, manifolds, all the old cotton hose, basic hand tools, nozzles to go with the hose, one fire extinguisher, a fan, one of the generator lights, and this is all surplus stuff that we have sitting in the back of the headquarters right now. That was, I told them, I said I will bring that back to the commissioners this evening at our meeting and get any thoughts on if that's something that we could throw in to possibly seal the deal. He says, absolutely, if you can talk about that, and then I would let him know tomorrow what our decision was, if we can throw that extra equipment in for him. So that's where I am with that. And we have had 2 other inquiries on ladder 1. So what I ask is, would the board be in favor of sending some of the surplus equipment with ladder 1?
Did we declare it surplus yet?
We have,
Some, not all.
Some, not all.
I can, if we work through the, if we do want to do that, I can work through the list with you to tell you what we need to declare surplus to have it go with it.
So I've got a copy of your list
Yeah.
here. It says all old colored cotton attack hose, Keystone.
yeah,
That is not surplus to currently.
Okay, no.
Is that the only thing?
1 3/4 TFT nozzles to support the hose,
Those were surplus.
yes. Gas trash pump with hard suction hose.
That has not been surplus.
Do we want to surplus the nose now, or?
I think it makes, we can run the list and then declare it
Okay.
all surplus.
Gotcha. Some basic hand tools to complete the truck. I don't know what that is. Dry chem extinguisher,
That has not been surplus.
traffic vest for each seat, if not labeled.
Not surplus.
Large gated manifold,
That has been.
DeWalt battery tools,
Those have been.
gated Ys,
They have not.
gas fan,
Has not.
Honda gas powered halogen light,
Has not.
old K12 saw.
That has been surplus. I think the other thing that we want to really be clear on with the TFT nozzle specifically is that we're not making any declarations to its condition. Specifically with the TFT nozzle, if you are flowing at 100 PSI at the tip, it is nearly impossible to tell if you are flowing 180 gallons a minute or 50 gallons a minute. The stream really is the stream. It's very difficult to determine if it's appropriate or not. So I would say we just want to be very sure that as we transfer this equipment, we are clear to them that they're taking it in as-is condition and we're making no claims as to what it does and what it does not do in its performance.
yep.
Okay. Any reason that any of the no's that we need to keep?
Any of what?
Any of the items that have not been surplused yet? Any reason for us to maintain that?
No, I think really the only thing you're looking at that has any value, if we were to try to sell it, would be some of that hose. And the value on that would be nominal. It's not, you're not looking at tens of thousands of dollars for that hose. You're looking at, you might get a couple of $1,000s. So if it's helping move the ladder along, we certainly don't have a purpose for it. It's something that we would be looking to surplus and be trying to move on anyway. So the rest of that list, there's no issue with.
All right, so do we have a motion to surplus the items that were not surplused as of yet? Mark, second. Mike, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
I will reach out to him tomorrow. With that being said, we also sent, it is called a quote to Daryl Salzar in Texas. He just wanted some kind of legal paperwork of what we're selling, so he could present it to his board. So we have that also on the table. And this afternoon, I had a phone call from a gentleman named Casey Muller from Haskell Volunteer out of Texas. He is very interested in Ladder 1. He was flying up to Newark, New Jersey next week to take a look at another apparatus. So I told him whichever way Randy Christensen was going to go, if he was going to purchase it or not. If he agreed to all the terms, then I would let this Casey know if we sold it or not. If we didn't sell it, he was going to make arrangements to try to fly over to us to take a look at that truck. So we have a couple potential ones if this Randy Christensen doesn't go through. But that's where I stand on trucks right at the moment.
All right, very good.
So do you think we need to make a motion that we're willing to sell it for the total price, including these items?
We can, yeah.
Yeah.
With that Do you want it just for this one for Randy Christensen, or do you want leave it, put it on the truck as is for whoever possibly purchases it? Is that what you want to do? This other gentleman, when I talked to the one in Texas, well, Mueller and Haskell, I came right out and asked him, I said, is the financial end of it within your price range? He said, absolutely, no problem. I said, okay. So, it's up to the rest of the board. I can leave all that other equipment on it that we just offered to Randy Christensen, or do we just leave it as an engine or a ladder truck?
I'd say just leave it, just for that one, and
Yep.
then if need be,
Yep. We'll revisit
with the
it,
pot, we
or
can
whatever
do
we need.
that.
Okay.
Weird situation like they do with houses. What if somebody comes on and says, oh, you got it listed for 600, I'm gonna give you 6 1/4.
Write a bidding war.
Are we gonna wait another month? And the guy says, I don't want any other stuff. What would we like Mark to do? Because I doubt this equipment is worth 25 grand, which would be the same as the guy's counter offer. Do we want to make it that if this guy counter offers you or somebody else does,
Yep.
you immediately kick all 5 of us?
Yes.
For an approval to move on, and I'll make that as a motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever offer I get, as soon as I get the offer, I'll send it out to you. We all agree upon it before the next meeting. Then we can move forward. that
Then
way.
you come back next meeting and say it's sold.
Yeah, we got 1 month.
Okay, so
Back on the other, well, I'll let us finish up with that one though, but I do have one other one.
so that was a motion you made, Mike?
Yes.
And then we have a second, Mike?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Back onto the trucks again. I did get one inquiry for the old American LaFrance. We did drop the price down, but I haven't heard anything back from him within the last week. So I'll reach out to him one more time and say, have you heard back from your potential buyer? But the last thing that he was asking was what's coming with the truck. And sorry, but you're getting ladders, hard suction, the basic stuff. And
1,000 gallons of water?
yeah, and we dropped the price range down for you from what we asking price, and we dropped it down. So I will reach out to him again tomorrow, find out if he's heard anything from his potential buyer. But that's the only other interest that I had on vehicles.
I would say on that, there is adequate hand tools. A couple of, like, a similar list to this. There won't be the battery operated stuff that would all go, but
Right.
you know, there's a large amount of hand tools that are going to end up being surplus. So I think if they're looking for a basic complement of just that,
Okay. All right. All right.
Okay. Let's see, Election and Public Safety, no meeting in October. Next meeting is going to be September 16th. That's at the Phoenix Fire Department.
No.
November.
Yeah. Okay, scratch that. That'll be, next meeting is November 18th at Plainville. How about that? Thank you. Budget and Finance. Kit, what have we got for us here?
Well, we've had our budget hearing, and we need to consider adopting the budget, but before we adopt the budget, we need to pass a resolution to override the tax cap. Even if we made some adjustments to the budget, I doubt that we would make enough changes to bring it within the tax cap. So I make a motion that we pass a resolution to override the tax cap.
Do we have a second? Mike? Further discussion? Do you have the resolution?
It's,
I have a copy if you need to read it.
so it would be, whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Belgium Cold Springs Fire District must adopt a proposed budget for 2025 and estimate of fund balance of the
26.
26, sorry. For the annual fire district budget hearing and did so in preparation for the budget hearing. Whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Belgium Cold Springs Fire District held the annual fire district budget hearing on notice to the public on October 20th, 2025. And whereas the board has considered the proposed budget and comments received on the proposed budget on October 20th, 2025 at said budget hearing. And whereas the board has determined that the financial needs of the fire district and fire department for the fiscal year 2026 cannot be supported by a budget that would comply with the real property tax cap established pursuant to Section 3C of the General Municipal Law as the proposed budget for 2026 calls for real property tax levy that would exceed the real property tax cap, permitting only a 2% increase in said tax levy. And whereas Section 3C of the General Municipal Law provides as follows: a local government may adopt a budget that requires a tax levy that is greater than the tax levy limit for the coming fiscal year, not including any levy necessary to support the expenditures pursuant to subparagraphs 1 through 5 of the paragraph G of subdivision 2 of this section, only of the governing body of such local government first enacts by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body of local law to override such limit for such coming fiscal year only, or in the case of a district or fire district, a resolution approved by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body to override such limit for such coming fiscal year. That the Board of Fire Commissioners hereby approves determination to override the real property tax cap for the 2026 budget only in order to permit an annual real property tax levy that will exceed the real property tax cap, permitting only a 2% increase in said tax levy, and the result in a final annual fire district budget in the amount of, and I didn't fill it in,
$2,461,667.
adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly put to vote upon a roll call, and the vote was as follows.
So I think Mike Chur made the motion and seconded by Mike Malone, correct?
It made the motion, Mike Malone seconded the motion.
Awesome. Perfect.
So for a roll call vote, Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison,
No.
Commissioner Chura,
No.
Commissioner LaPreece.
Yes.
That was passed by a 60% vote, so the motion is carried.
All right. Looks like we've got the Technology Committee.
You have to adopt the budget.
All right.
That was just to override the tax cap.
Okay, so let's, do we have a motion to adopt the budget?
So
Kit? All right. And a second. Mike? And a roll call vote again.
Kit,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Thompson, yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison,
No.
Commissioner Chura,
No.
Commissioner LaPreece.
Yes.
So again, that was passed.
Okay. Thank you very much. Technology Committee now. Got a meeting scheduled for Thursday, October 23rd at 1 o'clock. Personnel, Kit, anything?
Let me go back, your IT committee is the October
23rd,
23rd.
1 o'clock.
Personnel, as Chief Gleason reported, the final vacancy or opening for paid firefighter, and the offer went to Brent Whaley, and he accepted and will be finishing his orientation soon.
Okay. Also on the 23rd, we'll be going over the membership status review as per policy 00042. So, what else have we got? Vehicle maintenance.
She pointed out M1 oil change. Squad 1, I believe, is going to be going out for new tires.
Tires 11 months.
Yep. And as he also stated, engine 11 has a little minor leak. Colden has been out. They said it's okay to run for now, but they will be out Friday to repair it. And that's all that I have for truck.
Okay. Building grounds maintenance.
Building maintenance. Right now, we are looking, if you can tell, the paving project is still going on. They got the first coat down. When they ripped up the old, I was here for part of it, and it looks like the old base, they didn't have any stone base or anything underneath the pavement. It was just pavement, dirt. So possibly back in the years when they put it in, it might not have been installed right. So hopefully what we have going on right now will fix the drain issues that's going on. But hopefully that'll be wrapping up for the rest of sometime this week. We'll be able to get our driveways back. Other than that, I got to touch base with the chief for Amy to have Hills come in and take a look at the heating system, possibly at Station 2. There's a pump that's making a whining noise. So I'll get in touch with you on that. Other than that, that's all I can think of.
There was another thing, we had a minor leak over at headquarters, and that was addressed today, so we'll keep you guys on that.
Pavement? I think last time we did that ourselves. Yeah, we striped that ourselves.
Fire prevention.
Fire prevention, as that was touched on before. Reynolds is up tomorrow. And on the 30th will be Palmer's. So those are moving right along.
October 24th, Amy, what is Radisson Nursery School? What's going on with that?
What?
October 24th, Radisson Nursery School, fire prevention.
Okay. I don't know anything about it.
We got an email on that.
Yes.
Okay.
They reached out, they are just looking for a fire engine to come by, and we're gonna get that over to them.
Okay.
About 38 kids.
We have a couple extra ones that,
Put the right price, you can keep it. Yeah, they want.
yeah. All right, old business, LoSAP. Kit, what have we got?
We talked about this briefly last month, that New York State now allows fire districts to permit credit up to 50 years of service. When we started our program, we started with 37 years maximum. And then we did an amendment in 2006 when the state said we could go to 40 years. The state now indicates that we can go to 50 years if we would like. I did a little research and came up with, you know, perhaps 8 or 10 members who started when they were young who might get to 50 years of service. I sent out an email to the other commissioners earlier this last week, kind of explaining that. If we want to have this effective next year, we need to bring it to the voters at the December fire district election. We don't have to make that decision right now unless we want to present it to the voters in December. So that's kind of the gist of it.
You kind of, you provided me a list. I had sent her an email to see roughly who was eligible. There isn't a cost difference because they're young people, if we wait 5 to 10 years, right? You're not putting in money next year for the funding of this, correct?
That's right.
So we've already asked for the 2%, above the 2% cap. I think it may be better to, since they're young people, postpone it possibly. I mean, if they're still in, they can bring it back in 20 years and say, we want this. And you'll save 20 years worth of putting the money in that you can't touch for anything else.
That doesn't make sense, because if you have somebody that joins and they're a member for 20 years, then they were eligible for those 20 years, so then all of a sudden you say, okay, we're going to increase it from 40 to 50. They're still going to take part of that or be eligible for that.
You're buying the last 10 years. So as long as they're not at 41, you're still good by putting it in prior to them hitting 40 in a day.
Is there a cost to add? So there is a cost to add the extra years on?
Certainly.
What'd you say, Bill?
There's no hurry.
There's no hurry?
No. To 40 years is 2031. Nobody can have 40 years until 2031.
You have people already with 40 years.
It can start to 1991. So 2041 will be 50 years. Right, dude?
I said none of us will be here.
Yeah, we're fine, there's no hurry.
Yeah, that's why I said,
Yeah.
there's no rush.
No.
But if we want to have it effective
Right, it'll be
next
every
year,
December.
because of the notifications and such, we need to do it
now, yes.
now.
Okay.
Next year, if we want to do it in 2027, we need to do it in, September, October timeframe of 2026.
Okay. So since there's no urgency, is that the general consensus? All right. New business. Life insurance renewal.
We received the quote for the life insurance renewal. The group life insurance covers the volunteers and the commissioners and district employees, or district officers, so myself and Bill. We're looking at an increase of 3.026, so barely 3 cents increase, but we have fewer people. So we're actually going to be paying $900 less than we did last year. So total, the quote for 2026 is $11,142.98.
So I make the motion to renew the policy. As presented.
Do we have a second? Mark? Any further discussion? No. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Let it be shown that Commissioner Chair is not present for that vote. Board of Elections approval.
We need to approve the Board of Elections for the December district elections. I would pull from the same pool of people that I usually pull from, whoever's available December 9th. So looking at Lynn Tanner, Terry Massaro, Dorothy Dwyer, Dave Speech, Linda Williamson, Mike Williamson, and Kim Brannigan possibly as my pool of people. We would use 4 people for the Board of Elections.
Do we have a motion for that? Mike? Do we have a second?
Well, can I amend that with a stipend of $70?
$70 stipend. Do we have a motion, or do we have a motion, Mike? Still, yes, second, Mike? Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Out of district member application for Michael Harrison.
He's going to be living on Maple
Road,
Road.
for 40, well, right over by Ray Middle.
So, is the membership committee here, did you discuss with him? I mean, he's probably not gonna make a truck. Is he gonna do duty shifts?
I know he's well aware of the requirements. I'm not sure what his work schedule is like with the county, but I made him aware of the requirements, what he's responsible of doing, and he accepted it and was well aware. So.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve out of district membership for Michael Harrison? Mike Malone, second. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And abstentions.
Abstention.
So we have sounded like
I'm going to abstain.
1 abstention and
2 abstentions.
2 abstentions and 3 ayes. Okay. Health Insurance Consortium final steps. Adopt municipal resolution and sign municipal cooperative agreement. Appoint a director and alternates to the consortium. Appoint representative to the joint committee.
I believe I gave you guys the resolution. Per the resolution, I believe Charlie's going to have to sign the municipal cooperative agreement. I'm going based on what they have on the website. They may actually send that to us, because what's on the website I don't think is updated, so they may send us that. But if we pass the resolution to appoint the director and the alternate, then when we get the paperwork, then we can move forward with signing that and getting that going. We have gotten the rate for next year, and it's about $100 lower than what we're currently paying, but we have not gotten the new rate from Excelis. But we were looking at like a 17% increase on what we're currently paying. So either way, we're gonna see savings.
Okay. So I have to sign this, and then there has to be an alternate?
But we have to pass the resolution. You have to sign it as the chairperson, but you also need to appoint a director and an alternate.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be you, it could be, like Kit and I went to the last meeting. I've been involved in the information on the rates and that kind of thing, mostly because of my insurance background, and I'm the only one that's using the insurance, so it affects me more than anybody else.
I think it's appropriate that Amy be the delegate. Whoever wants to be the alternate. I mean, I went to their annual meeting, and they're very, very well organized consortium. I mean, really, they know what they've got their act together. And I'd be willing to be the alternate if you want, but I think Amy should be the delegate.
You don't think there's a conflict of interest there?
How's that?
No, because anything that changes, you guys have to pass by resolution. I can't go to a meeting and agree to anything.
Okay. Eric, so now we have to pass the resolution. And that's the second page here, huh? That's the second page?
It's, one of them is the one that you have to sign, and one is the actual resolution.
Okay.
I believe it's the resolution accepting membership in the Greater Tompkins County Municipal. That's the one that would be in the minutes, I believe.
Okay. Do you want me to read this?
I can if you want me to, or we can
I
just
said, do you want me to read it, or
Huh?
do you want it read, or does it not need
I
to
don't,
be read?
as long as it's in the minutes, I don't think it matters, but it's up to you. If you want to do all the whereases and what for, as long as you guys know what you're passing.
All right. Do you want to vote on this? Do we have a motion to approve the resolution as entered into the minutes? Mike Malone, do we have a second? Mark Harrison, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And abstentions? So moved.
Does that also include appointing the delegate and the alternate?
Yes.
As discussed?
So we have Amy as the delegate and Kit as alternate. What else? Anything else? Any other new business?
We do have the monthly alarm responses. Amy forwarded to me, as always. We had 84 responses. Car 1 had 9.5%, Car 2 was at 3.6% of the alarms. Car 3 was also at 3.6%. The volunteers have averaged at 3.77. And somebody had asked me, with those that respond, how do we break it down? No different than previous question was asked how many people are getting on rigs. So if it's an EMS call, if you have credentials to work on an EMS call, it's counted that you're in the plus. If you're only an EMT and you don't ride fire trucks and it's a fire call, you come up, you're just basically signing the book. So those with credentials, our alarm response goes from 3.77 down to 1.77. And it is broken to both fire and EMS separately. Somebody said earlier we lowered our EMT numbers, 17 to 12 or something like that, somewhere. So there were about, I don't know, 5 to 7 scratches. I don't have that written down, so we'll go with 5, but they're still there. Most of them are after midnight. That's it.
Anything else under new business? Public comments?
Do we have a date that the letters of intent to run for commissioner have to be in? That's good.
I believe it's,
Should have been.
Might be the 19th.
I think it's the 19th or 20th. If you, the 19th. So it's typically the 19th, and if you want to approve it by the 19th by 5 o'clock, that way we have a deadline.
So the 19th by 5 o'clock.
I also question Mr. Chura's statement that there were 5 scratches, because I listened to those calls 90% of the time, and I don't think there was ever a time that no one got out. And if the volunteers aren't getting out because the career staff are here during the middle of the night, that's part of their job, is to be here during the night. It is a waste of time for someone to come up here when they're, if the career staff is already en route before they can even get here. And so that's not really a scratch on behalf of the volunteers. The volunteers are doing their job and getting here. And EMTs on a fire call, that's acceptable also, because there are times when they are needed on a fire call. Now, that needs to be accepted, that they should actually sometimes be there. And should they be going as an EMT crew? Probably, if it's a real fire call. But they can also be there to evaluate if it's a CO call, and that's a fire call. So in reality, them being on the rig on a CO call is appropriate.
That would be great. They have to get on the rig, and the same thing goes with Thursday night drills, participate out at the tower too, and not do bags.
Well, I believe they are participating. If they are, and I think you need to maybe go visit while they're there and see what they're doing. They may have specific responsibilities on drill night to be there, from what I'm understanding.
If you want them riding fire trucks and treating people on CO calls and things like that, they should work around the firefighters doing that stuff.
And I think you might
I think
find out that they
they're
are.
not as common as you think they are.
Chief Melchior, I think you'll find out that they are there, doing their responsibility and following on those requirements. And I think you need to ask him specifically about that.
Okay, any more public comments? Okay, hearing none. Looks like the next commissioners' meeting will be November 17th. That'll be here at 7 p.m. Station 1. And I believe there's a need to go into executive session tonight. What are we going into? G?
Gee.
The resume and employment history of an individual which may lead to his or her continued employment with the district. Do we have a motion for that? Mark, second. All in favor? Aye. Don't anticipate anything else. Thank you very much.